All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of Brothers and Boss Battles, a video game showdown. Today, we will be talking about the third in our category of vehicle games where there is no racing. And today, we are talking The Simpsons Road Rage. Pete, why don't you give us your initial thoughts?
So, The Simpsons Road Rage is a total ripoff of Crazy Taxi, which is a game that everyone knows and loves, right? But it's with The Simpsons, so I think the only question is this game going to be amazing or really amazing?
All
That's
right,
my initial thought.
Tom, what about you?
I'm happy to report that The Simpsons Road Rage is now the best Simpsons game that we've ever covered on the mainline podcast.
Them's fighting words. All right, and I'll just say it is indeed a ripoff of Crazy Taxi to the point there was a lawsuit initiated by Sega. We'll get into that a little bit later, but as far as the game is concerned, it's good, but in very small doses, and you'll understand what we're talking about as we go into it a little bit more. All right, The Simpsons Road Rage was developed by Radical Entertainment and published by EA, Electronic Arts. It was first released on the PlayStation 2 on November 19th, 2001 in North America, and later that year followed on the Xbox and GameCube. A version for the Game Boy Advance was developed a little bit later on by Altron and published by THQ and released in North America on July 3rd, 2003. All right, join the Simpsons cast and drive people around town.
That makes it sound exciting.
In Crazy Taxi style.
Oh, okay. Now I want to play.
All right, just for those that don't know, this podcast, Brothers and Boss Battles Video Game Showdown, is a podcast where I, Anthony, and my brothers Pete and Tom talk about video games, new and old. We choose a genre or category, pick a game each for that category, and that all culminates in our Brodown episode, which is the fourth episode of that grouping, where we have a courtroom-style debate defending the games of our choice while trying to put down the other two and ultimately declaring a winner. All right, let's get a little bit more into The Simpsons Road Rage.
I'll start off with a positive, and this is something that might be controversial because I think I saw a lot of people's takes online that this aspect of the game was not good, but I actually thought the graphics were kind of interesting for this kind of game. Like, it kind of looked like it had a cel-shaded kind of feel to it, which made it look more cartoony than like The Simpsons Hit and Run, for example, which was like super 3D.
Yeah.
So I thought that actually kind of fit well.
I actually agree with you, and it is. I also saw online the same criticisms that the graphics were not good in the eyes of many people, which I don't really quite get. I like the cartoony, almost looked like an episode kind of style.
Minor detail, but I thought it was worth calling out.
Yeah. Pete, nothing on those graphics?
No, I mean, it didn't really stand out to me one way or another when I was playing. But since we're starting on the graphics, well, I guess this doesn't have anything to do with graphics actually. But
Wait, before you get to that point, hold it. What did everyone play on? I played on the GameCube,
Me as well.
and me.
which is what we had on originally, and as you know, when it came out, when we got it.
Side note, kind of interestingly enough, I browse Facebook Marketplace from time to time, and since we've been kind of discussing this game and playing it for preparation for this episode, I saw quite a few people actually selling this game on Facebook Marketplace, which is just kind of random.
What kind of prices are they asking for?
Pretty low, like $20.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I saw some for like the Xbox version, I think it was, and PS2, so as well as the GameCube.
So what I was going to say is one of the first things that stood out to me was all the great Simpsons references in the lines and also just in the locations of places you're taking people, and then each there's a lot of characters in the game, obviously, that you could play and that you just pick up in the environment, and they all kind of have their own interaction, or a lot of them. A lot of the pairs have their own interactions, which was really cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was good. And yeah, I think now's a good time for me to, just go through what the game is about. Spoiler alert, but it's really not a spoil type of game. But anyway, Mr. Burns in the game has bought and converted the Springfield bus and transit system to nuclear power, so he can, corner the market and get all of the money for it. The buses turn radioactive and they're wreaking havoc on the streets of Springfield. So the citizens of Springfield then get together to basically run a taxi service where they're picking each other up. There's several characters in the game. There's 6 levels, a couple of side missions and things like that. And you taxi people around for fares. And, anyone who's played Crazy Taxi, I mean, this is essentially a rip of that game. So it's just with Simpsons. So it's, fun, a lot of good lines. There's iconic characters and iconic places from the game. So it's it's fun for a while.
Yeah, especially if you're a Simpsons fan. If you're not a Simpsons fan, not to jump ahead to final thoughts, but
yeah,
it's gonna be hard to get into this game, I think.
Yeah.
Some of those lines, like while good, did get very repetitive.
Yeah. Some of them, yeah, there wasn't
like,
so many. I mean,
even like sometimes, like during the same run, I guess you could call it, they would just keep repeating the same things every time they pick someone up, and it's like, all right, come on.
Yeah, I had made the same note. Like,
another thing that I thought was funny was like you'll pick up a passenger, drop them off somewhere, and then like a minute later, let's say, or even less, you pick them up somewhere else, and you're dropping them. Like that's like whatever, not a big criticism, but I don't know. I feel like they could have did a little bit better with that.
Yeah, no, I agree. All fair points.
It was funny. One time, it was in the first Evergreen Terrace level. I picked up Krabappel and drove her to Skinner's house, and then I picked up Skinner and drove him to Krabappel's house.
Yeah, for as many characters as there are, there could have been a lot more.
You mean not playable, but like
that you pick up? Yeah. Like there's some good, somewhat random ones, like the pimple-faced teen is in it. He's someone you could pick up, which was good, and like Ralph Wiggum and stuff.
Yeah.
There's so many more that they could have really had.
Yeah, they could have had more of the bullies. I think they just had Nelson.
Yeah, and even like
Lenny
Bart
and
and Lisa's
Carl.
classmates. Yeah, Lenny and Carl, and then like Martin and the twins, Sherry and Terry, and like
it's true. So like I was saying, there's a lot of good references and all that stuff, and how the different dialogue between the different characters, that was a positive, but did feel like if that was the thing they were really like emphasizing, they probably should have did more.
Yeah. Which I really think they needed to emphasize that, because it was a poor man's Crazy Taxi gameplay wise and all of that. So it was like, they were really relying on the setting and the characters.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I felt it was a poor man's Crazy Taxi. Yeah. In theory, they could have made some improvements on the gameplay, and it could have.
I kind of wanted to get into that because, I mean, I haven't played Crazy Taxi in quite some time, but what about this game makes it inferior?
Well, the controls aren't as good. Yeah. I mean, and there were a lot of parts in this game, and I've actually, just saw a comment on this that agrees with me, but like there were points where you like made a turn and you're not like actually hitting anything, but you're blocked.
Yeah, that was so bad.
Yeah, like there was like, so like whatever you want to call it, a hitbox, not really, but like whatever it is, it's just like the physics in it were not.
Yeah.
Not like
sometimes
perfect.
Like you run over like the curb and you just like get stuck for some reason.
Yeah, but there were times where it's like you wouldn't run over anything and you'd get stuck. Like,
it was like you were turning a corner and you weren't hitting the corner of a building or anything, but
yeah.
you'd still get snagged.
Yeah.
I also found that like sometimes you would like hit the street light and you like go just stop dead in your tracks. You couldn't budge, and then sometimes there was like a giant bus that you were like bulldozing
Pushing out
over.
of the way,
Like it was
yeah.
like I just felt the physics there weren't
Yeah.
consistent.
Yeah, that felt inconsistent for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cars and they have like different, unenumerated stats, but like, it might not
Yeah.
have been smooth throughout the whole, array of cars that you could choose.
Yeah, that's another thing that's kind of weird that they're not showing you the stats.
Yeah,
But the cars, they feel
like,
different. They have
yeah,
different speeds and handling and
the size. So
tankiness type
yeah,
of thing,
yeah,
whatever.
we'll get into that a little bit more, maybe a little bit
Yeah,
later.
but like, yeah,
But just,
to
just
me,
the control. There was one control that I thought was actually really good. It's like when you tried to like skid to like turn, like when you're trying to pick someone up and you're like going straight, and then you want to be facing the other way when you get out, and then you just kind of like able to like skid around and do a 180. Like I was like a master at that, and I feel like in regular car games I would never be able to do that,
yeah, obviously. But yeah, that was
or even Crazy Taxi.
tight
I mean,
in
yeah.
that game. Yeah,
But yeah, some of the physics engines were bad, and just like you just the stuff we all mentioned.
yeah. I don't know what it was, but like, the Crazy Taxi had the awesome soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like it made it feel just more energetic and fun to me. Maybe it was that. But also, I seem to recall in Crazy Taxi where like you would like drive between other vehicles on the road, and I think if you didn't hit them, you'd get like kind of bonus fare, and they would like pop up like on the screen real quick, like plus 10 or whatever.
Yeah, seems
And
familiar.
and they had like ramps, I think too. So just
Yeah.
like navigating the maps felt more fun. And
Yeah,
mean,
I
look,
think
Crazy-
I think
Crazy
uh,
Taxi was an arcade game, right?
Yeah,
And then it
yeah.
was brought to Dreamcast, and it felt like an arcade game. Simpsons Road Rage, sorry, is an exact copy basically of Crazy Taxi, but it didn't feel like an arcade game.
There's also like Crazy Taxi had like those four characters. Here
Yeah.
there's 16,
True.
and like I don't know that they're different enough to really make a to make that worthwhile. And it's just like to unlock them really was a slog. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we should mention that briefly, but I completely agree with you that the differences between the cars weren't that great, and maybe that's why they didn't show the stats because maybe there were only like 3 types of cars, or
Yeah.
4.
Well, probably, yeah.
But yeah, to unlock the cars, it was basically just like you would get a certain score, basically how much money you got for
Yeah.
each run,
And
it
like
did-
a good run was like, let's say 10,000, I think.
Yeah.
That was a really good run. And you needed to unlock everything in the game, you needed $1 million. So I mean, it goes
Yeah, but
to
it
show
just,
how
like-
long that takes.
it's just the better you were doing. Like there weren't really a lot of bonuses, so the better you were doing, the longer your run took. So it didn't really matter how good or bad you did each run. You were pretty much gonna unlock the cars at the same time, more or less.
I don't know. I kind of felt like once you got to the end of a run, you would have to be perfect to get the like fast rating.
Yeah, that's true.
So for those that don't know, there's a fast, medium, and or slow. Oh no, fast, average, and slow. And fast, you get 3 extra seconds added to the clock. Average, you get 1 extra second, and slow, you don't get any seconds. You just collect your fare. So, and it got tougher as the round went. So,
Yeah, that's by design.
yeah.
They didn't want the the run to last 30
Forever.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's almost the
Makes
point,
sense.
though. Like, as you got farther in the run, it became harder and harder. Basically, at times almost impossible to get the fast.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think like 10,000. I don't see how you get much more than that.
Yeah, well, whatever the number is. But anyway,
it-
like just doing it over and over again to get $1 million was
Yeah, no. I mean,
not enjoyable.
Yeah.
I got to like 300,000 and change, and then the next unlockable was going to be 400,000. I was like, no.
Yeah,
So I unlocked all the levels.
Yeah. same here.
You'll only start with Evergreen Terrace, and then there's 5 to unlock. So that takes a bit. And you start with the whole Simpsons family, including Abe.
Right.
So the 4 and then Abe. So that's a cool, starting amount. I mean, they really, I think, should have cut some of the characters. I mean, they have Professor Frink in there, Apu, Moe's, Krusty, Reverend Lovejoy, and others. I won't go through all of them, but it's they really didn't all need to be in it as drivable cars.
I mean, I guess they wanted to put them in to because I mean, unlocking everything, I guess, is the only incentive to play the game.
Right, that's the thing. I mean, there's a story in the sense that you're trying to get enough money to buy the buses back from Mr. Burns, essentially. But other than the 6 different levels and the different cars, you're really doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean,
and you can.
That's what Crazy Taxi is.
Well, it's like
if it's fun, then you're going to do it.
But you're only in 6 levels, and you can go once you unlock them. You can go to the same level every time. You never really have to play. I mean, you don't even have to unlock them. You could do Evergreen Terrace, I guess. The whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to quote unquote beat the game, I guess you have to. Right? You don't have to unlock any characters either if you don't want.
Yeah, well, I guess you're. Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed worse. I mean, it was worse. I mean, everyone says it was worse than Crazy Taxi. It was just cool that it had The Simpsons. And there are some funny lines that we'll go to later.
Yeah. They did have the mission mode, which I thought was a nice addition, even though those missions were pretty repetitive and not exactly fun, but and you do unlock the car built for Homer.
Yeah.
If you complete all 10 of them.
Right. So. Which is cool. It's an incentive.
Yeah.
So
I thought that was more fun than the regular game, the mission. And there's only 10. There's only 10 of them.
Yeah, and they're kind of easy.
Yeah, most of them were easy. There was one that was really hard.
Was that the one where most of them are like you have to knock over 20 things in a level?
Yeah.
Was the hard one where you had to like get to a certain part in a certain amount of time? Oh,
it was. For me, anyway, it was Mission 8, where you're playing as Lisa, and you need to run over the logs.
Yeah, in,
It's the dam level.
Oh, it's the dam level. It's not the mountains?
Or...
I think I know what you're talking about, and I think, that was the toughest one for me, too.
Yeah.
But that mode kind of reminded me of Hit and Run. So I kind of liked it.
I don't know. It was kind of fun, though. So
it was more fun than Hit and Run, yeah.
I do. The thing about I always feel like those mission modes in any game are like insanely hard for me, and like these weren't. So I was like, oh, these are easy.
Yeah. No, they weren't that hard, but I failed. Sometimes. Just going back to like the comparison to Crazy Taxi, because there were some things that they did try to do. So like we mentioned in the story, the buses or whatever. So the buses were there to interfere with you.
Right. So
that was very annoying.
Yeah, during the level, other than just like picking people up and dropping them off, you had the buses that got in your way, and then also Mr. Burns and Smithers would be driving Burns's limousine and trying to like get in your way at times as well.
Also, sometimes when you pick up a customer, they had the 2 like ways to earn extra money randomly with the avoiding crashing into other cars, basically.
Yeah.
And the destroying objects.
Yeah, those are important. The destroy all objects gave you an extra 1,000 points along with your fare. Dollars along with your fare. So that was big. And depending on how far away the target location would be how many things you'd have to destroy. So like if it was really close, sometimes it'd be like 6 things. And that's anything that
just run into anything on the
light posts were a common one.
I think even if you hit like the people on the side, it counts as a.
Oh yeah, there was the was it the Isotopes mascot was like always around that you could hit
And old Gil.
Gil was in it. I don't think I saw him once.
Yeah, but you can't pick him up as a customer. You just run him over.
Actually, that was one thing I didn't like. Sometimes when you delivered a passenger and then you wanted to quickly pick up another one, there was like maybe there was 2 or 3 characters standing around, but only one of them was actual pick-upable. Which I mean, I guess makes sense. Not everyone you see wants to get in a taxi, but Yeah, but so anyway, so as we're discussing, they did try to, make it a little different, enhance on Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
It just didn't really work that well. They did add the mini map, which I'm pretty sure wasn't in Crazy Taxi. At least not Crazy Taxi 1. The mini map. So that was good.
Yeah, and
used that
that's
one.
why I'm confused because I feel like they made improvements over Crazy Taxi, but somehow it's still a worse game.
I think it's just the controls. It just like for whatever reason wasn't as fun to people.
I also found a lot of the maps to be not very good.
Well, yeah, so we could get into that. I mean, there were, like we mentioned, there were 6 levels. I thought 3 of them were really boring and like tough to maneuver around. Like parts of it were like just go straight for like a long time.
Yeah, that was like the dam one. It was
that
very
was the
linear.
worst.
Yeah,
the Springfield dam was probably the worst. Yeah,
yeah. The power plant one I didn't really like either.
Me neither. And then the Springfield Mountains I didn't like.
That was also awful.
Those were the 3 I thought were really bad.
I have to say, I didn't really care for the entertainment district either.
That I liked. I felt
that
was
just
it was just an extension of like Evergreen Terrace kind of thing. And then the other good one was Downtown, which had that one was fun. Actually, that was the one. Once I had unlocked them all, was like doing kind of repeatedly. Would be that one.
The entertainment district?
No, Downtown.
Oh.
That was the 5th of 6th levels.
Yeah, I kind of rotated between the 3 of those, the Evergreen Terrace Entertainment District and Downtown.
Yeah, same here. But like, I kind of did Downtown a lot. But yeah, the other 2 definitely sometimes as well. The other 3 were just so bad. Like, they were not going to be fun at all. Like one of them, the Springfield Dam, was that the one where like if you fell down, it like you could fall into the water and then you'd have to work your way all the way back up, and it just took ugh.
Yeah, that one was terrible.
Was so bad.
Yeah.
And like the thing was like you kind of do that big jump, and if you try to do it the other way, you almost never make it, and then you always wind up below. So but like it didn't seem like there was another way to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they do have some kind of shortcuts or secret ways.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Then the PowerPoint one, the drop-off locations were always very close together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like you're not really driving on the road. You're just kind of like...
Yeah.
And then it was kind of hard to... Like sometimes you had to like go around something that it was not very clear.
Yeah, like there'd be no opening.
Drop off. Yeah.
And then you'd have
so that one was kind of stupid too.
Yeah, that one you really had to listen to the arrow on top because, again, there was like a directional arrow which would show you which way to go. But like sometimes it seemed like it was taking you out of the way, and I feel in other levels it wasn't always helpful. Like it would never have you go through a shortcut to get somewhere, but in like that Springfield Dam level, it was just like if you didn't follow it, you would end up on a part of the road that you couldn't turn off of, and you'd have to go like all the way around again. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, so Tom, something you said made me think of another difference between Crazy Taxi. Crazy Taxi had different colors, I think, for the passengers when you would pick them up based on how far the destination was.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And Road Rage didn't have that.
Yeah, that didn't bother me as much because they would give you more time the further away
of course,
a location was. So I don't know. I don't know that that really made as much big difference.
No, it didn't. The biggest differences were... Well, the biggest difference was the gameplay. This wasn't as smooth and as fast and as fun. And I also think the maps was a big factor. That the maps were bad.
I know it's not a Crazy Taxi episode, but did Crazy Taxi have multiple maps? For some reason, I only remember it having one. At least the original.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, it was a good map, but
yeah. I don't remember. I only remember the one map though. There was a lot of different parts of it.
Yeah, pretty big, and that's why I'm just like really struggling.
But you've played both games. Did you feel this handled as well? And just like,
no, I guess
just
not.
Maybe you're not a big Crazy Taxi fan.
No. I mean, I think Crazy Taxi is a better game. But I'm just like, it's kind of like what we've talked about in the past about Star Wars Battlefront and Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah. I know.
Whereas
2 is like technically a better game in every way,
better,
but it's not as fun.
Yeah.
Well, but this one, I mean, yeah, I don't know that this game is technically better though. I mean, yeah, you added the mini map and you have more characters, but it's really not.
It added a lot of things that should, in theory, be better. That should
Yeah.
make it better, but I don't know.
Based on quick search, the arcade version of Crazy Taxi had one map, and then the Dreamcast version had two.
Less than
I don't know.
six.
Yeah.
Also, less than 3 good levels in this game.
Maybe I wish I played Crazy Taxi now in preparation for this episode, because obviously we were going to compare it.
I mean,
But
I
it
really
just felt more competitive. Crazy Taxi,
yeah.
Crazy Taxi definitely was faster.
faster, yeah, but I mean competitive, not in like difficult, but it felt like it was actually possible to really get a good score, whereas it didn't feel that way in this
Yeah,
game.
I'll give you that.
Like if you really played flawlessly, you know.
Yeah. In Simpsons, in Road Rage, it felt like you were kind of gonna get the same score no matter what.
Sometimes you do bad. Like I did feel like some cars were not good at all, and then like when I'd first use them, I'd get like 5,000 points, which was a pretty bad run. But
Yeah, no, I agree.
it's a shame. It's like a video game with the Simpsons name slapped on it, kind of just like brings it down. As even though it should be the opposite.
Yeah, that's because they just think the Simpsons is gonna and
Yeah.
probably right in terms of sales.
Yeah, they phone it in. No, I don't think this game was critiqued favorably.
Yeah, like that.
Seen
I
a
would be
lot of, like,
surprised.
I don't know. Like it was about like 50% ish. Like if 5 out of 10s and stuff
Yeah, it's
like
bad.
that
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
bad.
stuff. That's pretty poor.
There was also a like a 2-player, I think, head-to-head mode, and I think there was like you could even steal a passenger. I mean, maybe there was a passenger, and then you could steal him by basically ramming into the other person. So it was like two people playing on the same map. So that could have been fun. I don't remember ever playing that.
Yeah, I
That
can see
was
that being
something.
fun for like a time or two.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that like if the internal console date was on a holiday, there were a certain holiday character, I guess you could call them skins, but yeah. So there was Christmas Apu, New Year's Krusty, I think Thanksgiving Marge, and Halloween Bart.
I didn't know that. So like as the playable character. The
Yeah, I
driver.
guess like if it was Halloween and you played as Bart, it would be Halloween Bart.
Bartman.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I think it was probably like Apu was Christmas, so probably him dressed as Santa or something.
Yeah, those Easter egg kind of things are cool.
Yeah, so I mean, it had all the cool like Simpsons trimmings. I feel it's just the game wasn't that good. Though I'll say like we like Crazy Taxi, but it's not like we played it and played it and played it. I mean, that game can kind of get a little boring too. Though I do feel like like you said, there are ways to improve your score, and like in true arcade game fashion, you're trying to beat your score or beat someone else's score. So here they had like a leaderboard, like the top 10, but like you never really felt you were playing for that, and yet the story was kind of lame. So it was just like you're just kind of doing this thing.
Yeah, it's very repetitive, and it didn't really seem like there was much of a goal.
Yeah, I mean Crazy Taxi is repetitive too, but just felt like a better game. I do. You're right. It's not like we played this like every weekend. It's not like we play Crazy Taxi every weekend either. But I do remember at one point getting into it, like really getting into Crazy Taxi, and trying to beat my scores and stuff. So for what that's worth, that was a long time ago. So
All right, should we take a quick break and come back with our answers to last week's mid-episode filler and a new question regarding the Simpsons Road Rage. Welcome to another segment of our mid-episode filler Would You Rather question. But first, we will answer the question from last week's Would You Rather, in which we asked, Which of Fox's companions would you rather have as your ally, as we were discussing Star Fox 64 in that episode? The options were Peppy Hare and his folksy wisdom, Slippy Toad and his energetic enthusiasm, or Falco Lombardi and his brash loyalty. We put up the poll on our X and Instagram at Bros Boss Battles, and we do have a tie. And sorry, Falco, but you were not part of that tie. But Peppy Hare and Slippy Toad tied for who people would want as their companion. We should just run down what we think. I mean, I'd probably pick Slippy Toad, so I'm gonna give a point to at this point put him over the edge. I like his energetic enthusiasm. Seems like a nice, wholesome soul. Tom?
I'm going to even it out again and put one for Peppy. I tend to enjoy the company of older people.
And I'm going to break that tie by also going with Peppy.
Oh, Peppy. Most boring character gets the win.
I think people who have wisdom are a good ally to have.
All right, there you have it. Peppy Hare with the win for Fox's most wanted allies. Not wanted in the criminal sense, but wanted to be a ally and companion. All right, so for this week's Would You Rather mid-episode filler question, we are talking about Simpsons Road Rage. So we'd like to ask a question based on that. And as we've been discussing, Simpsons Road Rage is largely based off of and or copied directly off of Crazy Taxi, which was huge at the time. So we thought we'd ask, what huge games of today would you like to see be copied in the vein of a Simpsons game? And those options are a turn-based RPG in the vein of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, a kart racer in the vein of Mario Kart World, or a team-based PvP shooter in the vein of Marvel Rivals. Let us know what you think on our X and Instagram at Bros Boss Battles, that's BROS Boss Battles, and wherever you get this podcast. All right, back to the regular episode. All right, we just finished our mid-episode filler answer from last episode and question for this episode. We need to really talk about, I think, like our favorites and as far as the cars and levels are concerned. Well, we kind of did the levels already, but I think we really need to get into the cars since there are 17 playable characters here, which is probably excessive, but it's fun to try to unlock some of them.
We also have to get into some of our favorite lines later, too.
Yes, that's the other important thing.
I don't know, so I'll start with the cars and the characters. Like we discussed before the break, a lot of the cars honestly felt very like the same to me. I mean, I did have some that were my favorites. I'll just name a couple. Professor Frank, I thought his car was pretty darn nice. And Apu, he had the sports car. They were both pretty fast cars, Frank and Apu.
Yeah.
So that's what I liked.
Yeah, I used Apu a lot. Frank's was nice as well. I feel like it had good control. And then I used Snake. He was another one that I liked.
Yeah. I feel like Frank was like noted as one of the fastest but best cars as well because the handling was pretty good. So I actually used Flanders a lot. He kind of was like, he had the sedan. I mean, it was sort of just a station wagon rather. And he makes a comment like, oh, slow and steady wins the race, like when you start. And like, I feel like his car very much did that. Like it wasn't the fastest, but it handled greatly. So I like that about it. And it was very fitting of him. So I thought that was cool as well. I like that. And according to Simpsons Wiki, there's a little bit of an Easter egg is that his license plate reads JHN143, which is, Bible verse, John, I guess, I don't know. I forget how to read those, but, John 14:3. Yeah, chapter 4, verse 3, I guess. And it's about like picking people up, like, if like you'll make a place and then pick them up and go there or something. So like that's kind of, again, if true, I didn't check that. I just kind of checked that out now. So I thought that was cool. And then I kind of like I used Apu as well. I used the various Simpsons. I kind of felt like they were all pretty good. I mean, like, Homer had the family sedan. It was kind of just like,
That one was decent.
balanced. Yeah. Marge with the Canyonero was able to run over a lot of things. So, like, that was, I felt useful. Lisa and Bart, I found theirs to be very fast. Lisa with the electric car and Bart with the honor roller, like go kart.
Yeah, I did find all the ones that you start with, the family, to be like okay, like average, fine,
Yeah,
fine to use.
even Grandpa with the Shriner's cart was good. I got him. I unlocked Reverend Lovejoy. I felt like the book burning mobile. I felt it handled horribly. Like I used them a couple of times, just like I cannot do this anymore.
I don't think I unlocked him.
Yeah, I didn't this time around either. The snowplow was kind of like that too.
Hmm.
Like really just hard to use.
Yeah. I got Mo. He had the sedan, kind of fine. Again, according to Simpsons Wiki, Professor Frink's license plate read E equals MC squared, so nothing really, kind of an expectant one for him, but kind of a
Yeah,
cool little thing. Um,
those kind of cool Easter eggs weren't in Crazy Taxi. I could tell you that, or maybe they were. I don't know.
yeah, so those, again, like you said though, there wasn't enough differences between the cars.
Yeah, I mean, there were definitely enough. Like, a complaint is not that all they could have added more cars for sure. I don't know how, before we get into the lines or whatever, how do you feel about the maps? Because I guess I like if there were a few more maps, that would have been the game would have benefited from that, especially if they were actually halfway decent ones.
I
But
mean,
I also didn't feel like I would have played the game any longer if there were a few more maps. I don't know.
yeah, it's weird because it's like we're saying that having that many characters was like a waste or not necessary, but it's like without that, is there any reason to play? Like beyond like a few,
No.
you know?
No, I mean the problem with the game is that it wasn't fun enough to make you want to even unlock all the characters. Like even if the characters were amazing and had a bunch of great differences,
Hmm.
like I don't think that I would have been inspired to keep playing to unlock them all.
No, definitely not. I mean, they copied an arcade game, so it's got to be
Yeah.
it's got to be fun. It doesn't really matter if you're unlocking new cars or
Yeah, I feel like something like a game like this could have benefited from like achievements or trophies, maybe to keep people engaged to the extent that helps some people keep engaged with games. But I think I did see. So didn't they come out with like online, like kind of retrofitted achievements for all like retro games or older games? I was watching someone on YouTube play with those in mind, like trying to get quote unquote achievements that obviously didn't exist for GameCube. So there's that, but I mean that's not really as fun.
definitely not. That wouldn't have yeah, that wouldn't have enticed me. But so it's funny you mentioned the Flanders line because that was one of the few favorite lines that I noted down. The slow and steady wins the race.
Oh,
I
really?
thought it was funny because in a game like that, it's
In a non-racing
in
game,
a
though.
non-racing game, but where you have to be quick.
Hmm. Yeah, so I have five lines here that I noted that I thought were pretty funny. I'll run through mine. This might be the best part of the game, to be honest. But so I think it was when I was driving as Abe, and then and then Marge is the customer in this scenario. So Marge hops in the car, and Abe goes, "Hi, family member that neglects me." And then Marge says something along the lines of, "Grandpa, are you kidder?" I thought that was pretty funny. Um, Driving as Mo, you if you drive over like something, he goes, "I hope that was a cat." Uh, Ned, this one's great. Can you take me to Reverend Lovejoy's house? I want him to bless my new haircut.
Yeah, that was one of mine too.
That was a good one. Well, this one is like it was so funny to me, even though it's so simple. It's driving as Marge. She goes, "I hope the traffic is nice."
Well, Marge is your favorite character, right?
Yeah, so definitely my favorite like mainline Simpson character. And then this one is in one of the cutscenes. Burns says, "So you don't like taking my buses, eh? Well, tough cheese." And that was pretty funny. So those are mine.
All right, I'll go. I'll go next. Okay, so my favorite line was actually in like I think it's like the opening cutscene basically of the story. So the Simpsons family, they're watching TV, they're watching the news, and they're reporting on the like Mr. Burns' buses and the radiation. So then Hans Mole Man is like being like affected by the radiation, like being hurt, and he says, "Please kill me." And then Marge is watching TV, and she says, "That poor man. I hope someone does kill him."
That is good.
Yeah, so that was my favorite one. Um, I had noted down the two Ned ones that you referenced
Okay.
earlier. I like when you pick up Ralph, and I think if you get like a slow time, he says, "It's okay. I'm not good at things either."
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, that one I remember, yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually the one. Those are the ones I noted down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I had four, but two of them were the Ned ones.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't note anything down specifically.
Ah.
I did like how everybody, when you pick up Dr. Nick, would say, "Hi, Dr. Nick,"
Yeah, that was good.
Did you find the Wiggum one that you liked?
It was something along the lines I thought, like, imagine how like slow it would take if I didn't have to follow like traffic signs.
Oh,
Or
like if you
but
did have to follow.
yeah, if I did it right, yeah, if I yeah. I'm not finding it. Like I'm on like again Simpsons wiki and like they have a bunch of the quotes and I'm not seeing it, but it was something along those lines.
Yeah, that's funny. Chief Wiggum is always funny.
Yeah. So yeah, those are some pretty good ones.
Did you want to get into the lawsuit thing that you mentioned?
Yeah, I mean it was, a spoiler alert. It was settled for an undisclosed amount. So I mean the payoff of the story is not that exciting or big, but basically Sega sued, who was the rights holder of Crazy Taxi, did sue Fox and the developer in this game and EA and everything because of they felt it was copyright infringement of Crazy Taxi because of this game. And again, it was so that's how similar it was that it even invited this lawsuit, and it again was settled for an undisclosed amount outside of court. So probably paid something. It wasn't dismissed. So the folks here who made Simpsons Road Rage kind of probably figured they'd have to didn't have the best case to defend themselves, so would have to settle.
Yeah, I was reading a little about this too, and I guess there was a patent that Sega had, and it like covered things from what I understood as like the floating arrow that directs you or guides you what direction you should be going, and what they called like pedestrian danger zones. So they would jump out of the way if you were about to run them over, basically.
Right, which happens here too.
Like that's what I understood, which isn't really
it's not the game itself.
Gameplay mechanic.
Yeah. But I guess if there is a intellectual property right for that thing, like a patent or whatever, then you could sue on it.
Yeah. It is so like avoidable though.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Simpsons Road Rage could have not had the pedestrian jump out of the way, okay, and then the arrow could have been some other kind of arrow and not floating in the center of the screen.
Yeah. I noticed it wasn't the one in The Simpsons. It was kind of just like always white, whereas the one in Crazy Taxi was like yellow or changed color depending on like where you were, like to your destination.
Yeah,
I think
that
like
might
looked
be
a little
right.
different. It just
well, the Simpsons arrow.
It was a finger.
It was a hand and a finger pointing. Yeah.
No.
Really switched it up there.
Anything else to add?
No, we didn't really talk about the music. They had the voice acting again, so that
Yeah,
was
that's
good.
important. And yeah, I
Yeah,
think a lot of the actors who played them on the cartoon did the voices.
yeah, I think that's
I
right.
think it was
So,
everyone. Yeah.
yeah, I think it was so that was really cool.
Yeah, well, I mean that's critical.
It's yeah, it's necessary.
Yeah, they're such iconic characters. It would just,
There
it
would be
would,
no point in making the game
no,
if you weren't going to have the original voice actors.
no, not at all. It would be, yeah, you really can't with The Simpsons have anyone else voice the characters, even in a video game. Yeah, so that was great. I mean, that was good. The humor. I mean, there was a lot of other funny lines, very Simpsons-like lines that we didn't discuss. The scenes are cool, especially in those three good levels. I mean, it's like Springfield. You're driving around Springfield. It's cool. There's Moe's and there's the hospital and there's a bunch of other iconic locations. So it's really cool. And like some are more obscure, which that I thought was a pretty cool thing in the game. Like Frank's apartment or Edna Krabappel's apartment and like just places like that. I thought were kind of interesting. It's probably like in a 5 second part in one episode in the 30 plus years of the Simpsons, and but it was enough of a buildup of this world where they could do it. So that was cool. Where I have nothing else to add, we could go to final thoughts. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Tom, why don't you go first?
Sure. So even though this is the best Simpsons game that we've covered, I'm still gonna not recommend it. It's I mean, I don't know, like when I first started replaying it, I was having some fun, but it's really not, it has no longevity in my opinion, so it'll be fun for a sitting, probably like a short sitting. You might get some fun out of it, especially if you're a Simpsons fan. But other than that, it's not really worth investing much time into. I do think like maybe it would work as like a mobile or a handheld game or something. But other than that, nah, I wouldn't worry about adding this one to your collection.
Yeah, I'll go next. Yeah, I would say if you're a Simpsons fan and you can get your hands on it, play it, but I don't think it's worth tracking down a GameCube console or a PlayStation 2 or whatever you might have it on and the game in order to play this. It's technically a worse Crazy Taxi. It does have the added benefit of having Simpsons characters and lines and locations, but if you're not a Simpsons fan or like a fair weather Simpsons fan, maybe even like I just don't think you're going to get much enjoyment out of this game at all. If you want to play a game like this, just go and play Crazy Taxi. So for the vast majority of people, I would say this is a no recommend for me. Tom very aptly put it, like when I first put this game on to replay it for the podcast, I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, this is so cool and everything. But that lasted a couple of hours. Then it was more of a chore to just get, through it enough to get enough unlockables to be able to discuss it somewhat intelligently on this podcast. So, yeah, that's my take. All right, Pete, finish this off.
Yeah, so similar to what you guys said. I mean, the game gets old like fast, and I mean really fast. Um, yeah, this is coming from someone, and all three of us, who really, appreciates the references to the show and The Simpsons in general. Um, but like again, we mentioned like even in the same run, I was hearing the same line potentially 4 or 5 times sometimes. And the cars, there were a lot of them, didn't really change the experience much for me. The maps, there were 6 of them, and three of them we kind of all agreed were pretty horrible and not fun to play. So, I'm honestly very thankful for this game being made because it provided the groundwork for the far superior Simpsons Hit and Run, which we covered in an earlier podcast episode. But I have to agree. If you have the urge to have some like competitive passenger transport fun, I would say go play a Crazy Taxi game.
All right, there you have a Simpsons Road Rage. We are Brothers in Boss Battles, and this is a Brothers in Boss Battles, a video game showdown. Be sure to check us out on Instagram, X, YouTube, and Twitch at Bros Boss Battles. That's BROS Boss Battles. At brothersandbossbattles.com, or wherever you get this podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe. Next episode will be our Bro Down episode, where the Simpsons Road Rage, Twisted Metal Black, and Star Fox 64 go head to head to head. Hope to see you there. Until then, take care.